Now the builder is going to tell you that concrete does two things. It gets hard and it cracks. And he's right. And he's right. And you're going to experience some cracks. We're in the garage here. Okay? When I'm considering cracking in flat work, like a garage floor, for example, I have 4 criteria. I'm really looking for maybe 3. It depends. There's no hard, fast rule, but I have 4 criteria about judging a crack. Does it get narrower or wider towards the perimeter of the foundation? This one gets narrower as opposed to. It's not supposed to get wider. If it gets wider, that's a warning sign. Is it wider than a 32nd of an inch? And it's not. That also means, my 3rd criteria, is it wider than a 32nd of an inch in 2 or more locations? That gets some gravity to the situation. And it's not. Is it out of plane? And it's not. So while this crack isn't the most fantastic thing anybody would want, it's something that you might want to keep an eye on. But this is not a deficiency at this time. Concrete gets hard and it cracks. This is normal. Now you're not going to get your neighbor coming over and says, I want one of those cracks like he's got. I don't have one of those normal cracks. My floor must be abnormal. It doesn't have any cracks in it. No. Nobody appreciates cracks. Nobody wants them. It's just has to deal with the building material we're working with. You might tape a paper measure and take a picture of it and location and mark it with a Marks-a-Lot or something. You might do something like that to help you monitor it, if you're going to obsess over it. But at this point, I'm just saying, it is what it is. But we're not here for the cracks. One little Inspector Theater. Can I come in? Come on in, Mr. Fire. The door's open for you.
Thank you. You always make me feel so warm and welcome.
I never get tired of that joke. But no. We're supposed to have a self-closing spring on the door between the garage and the living space. I get it. They're a pain in the wazoo. Carrying groceries in, I took my spring off. I get it. But although there might be some things in this garage that you care about, the things you usually care most about are on the other side of this door. It's where your marriage and birth certificates and death certificates and insurance and income tax and your bug out kit, your art, your friends, family, and pets, not necessarily in that order, but that's where all these things that you care most about, your collectibles. All right, this is what you care most about is on this side of the door. So this door, now most fires start in the kitchen, second most, and you can't do a lot about that, but second most fires start in the garage. And so you'd at least have a fighting chance to get something you cared about out. This door is supposed to be self-closing. But that's not what we're here about. We're not here about the cracks or the door. We're here about the overhead door opener, the garage car entry metal panel overhead door opener. And that's what we have here. Our control button is over 5 feet from the ground, and that's a good thing. Keeps the little hands from coming up here. But we do not have a warning notice posted next to it. We should have little instructions on how to squash a kid, in case you forget how. Our optic sensors are not supposed to be farther from the garage floor than 6 inches, and they are. Our manual door lock is supposed to be decommissioned. As long as you have the door opener and it's operable, it's in service, then you should have, this door lock should be decommissioned. They take one bolt off, maybe, and then put it someplace else and turn it sideways and tighten it. The idea is that you don't close the door, lock the door, forget that you locked the door, then push the button or the remote control in your car. Maybe somebody else doesn't know that you locked the door. And then you bend the door up and you get it all out of whack. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You say, well, you know what? I locked it and then I unplugged it. And then I drove to Big Bend and had a vacation and I came home, I was 11 hours on the road, I was tired, and I pushed the button, it wouldn't come on. I said, oh, I unplugged it. And then you come in and you plug it back in, and you push the button, and you didn't undo the lock, and it still jacks up your door. How do I know that story? How do I know that? Did it ever happen to me? Yeah, that one did. So we have a pull handle inside the door, we have emergency release handle, but what we do not have is our courtesy luminary is missing. Now, I have in my inspection agreement, thank you, dear client, I have in my inspection agreement, the inspection agreement that's posted on my website, and in the inspection report itself, like I'm telling you now, that I do not do block testing for the emergency reverse. I have instructions baked into the inspection report. The builder can show you block testing. All I want to know, all I'm going to find out today, all I'm going to find out today is whether the emergency reverse works or not. And I'm going to do that by pushing the button and coming over here with my big old flat zombie hoof and pushing it over the beam, breaking the beam, and it'll go into reverse, and that's the best way that I've got to test it. That was a business decision that I made to do no harm. The builder can show you a block test. I made a business decision. I'm not here to tear the place up. I'm here to inspect it. So I'm going to push the button, come over here with my big old zombie flat foot. We have safety reverse. You see we do not have a courtesy light. So we know the safety reverse works. So what do we learn? We learned that we do not have a warning notice posted here. We learned that we do not have a warning notice posted here. We learned that this manual door lock has not been decommissioned. We learned that the optic sensors are higher than 6 inches from the floor. We also learned that the door does not have a self-closing spring on it.